In a heartbreaking turn of events that has shaken the reality TV world, we're bringing you the latest developments in a tragic accident that has devastated the family of Duane, Dog the Bounty Hunter, Chapman. What started as an ordinary Saturday evening in Naples, Florida has turned into an unimaginable nightmare for the Chapman family, as they grapple with the accidental death of 13-year-old Anthony Zecca. Today, we have the most recent police update on this devastating incident that has left fans and the entertainment industry in shock. On Saturday evening, July 19, at approximately 8 p.m. local time, emergency responders rushed to an apartment complex in Naples, Florida following reports of a shooting. What they found was a scene that would forever change the lives of everyone connected to one of reality television's most recognizable families. According to multiple sources and confirmed by TMZ, Gregory Zecca, the stepson of Dog the Bounty Hunter through his marriage to Francie Chapman, was involved in what authorities are describing as an accidental shooting that claimed the life of his own 13-year-old son, Anthony Zecca. The tragedy unfolded at their Naples apartment, where Gregory and Anthony were spending what should have been a typical Saturday evening. Details about exactly how the accident occurred have not been released by authorities, but the impact has been nothing short of devastating for everyone involved. For those who may not be familiar with the family dynamics, Gregory Zecca became part of the Chapman family through Duane's marriage to Francie Chapman. Francie, who married Dog in September 2021, brought her own children into the blended family, including Gregory. This made young Anthony not just Gregory's son, but also Dog's step-grandson, creating a tight family bond that makes this tragedy even more profound. Dog the Bounty Hunter, whose real name is Duane Chapman, rose to fame through his reality television series that followed his work as a bail bondsman and bounty hunter. The show, which ran for several years, made the Chapman family household names and gave viewers an intimate look into their personal lives. The family has always been known for their close-knit relationships and their ability to support each other through difficult times. This latest tragedy adds to a series of personal challenges the Chapman family has faced over the years, including the death of Dog's beloved wife Beth Chapman in 2019 after her battle with cancer, and various legal and personal struggles that have played out in the public eye. The Collier County Sheriff's Office has been handling the investigation since receiving the initial call on Saturday evening. In their most recent official statement, authorities have provided some clarity about the current status of the case, though many questions remain unanswered. According to police spokespersons, the shooting is being classified as an isolated incident. This terminology is significant in law enforcement communications, as it indicates that authorities do not believe there is any ongoing threat to public safety or that the incident was part of a larger pattern of criminal activity. Perhaps most notably, no arrests have been made in connection with the shooting. This detail has been consistently reported across multiple news outlets and appears to be a key element of the current investigation status. The lack of arrests doesn't necessarily indicate the final outcome of the investigation, but rather reflects the current understanding of the incident as accidental in nature. A representative from the Collier County Sheriff's Office stated, "Our detectives are conducting a thorough investigation looking into all the elements of this tragic incident." This suggests that while the immediate classification points to an accident, law enforcement is still working to understand all the circumstances surrounding Anthony's death. The investigation remains active and ongoing, with detectives reportedly examining all aspects of what occurred that Saturday evening. This comprehensive approach is standard procedure in cases involving accidental shootings, particularly when they result in fatalities and involve family members. The Chapman family has been understandably private in their grief, but they have released a statement that provides insight into their current emotional state and their request for privacy during this incredibly difficult time. In their official statement, the family described the incident as an incomprehensible tragic accident. This language speaks to the shock and disbelief that often accompanies sudden, accidental deaths, particularly those involving children and occurring within the family unit. The statement continued with a request that has become familiar to families thrust into the public eye during times of personal tragedy. "We are grieving as a family over this incomprehensible tragic accident and would ask for continued prayers as we grieve the loss." This plea for privacy and prayers highlights the delicate balance that public figures must navigate when personal tragedies become news stories. While the public's interest is understandable given Dog Chapman's celebrity status, the family is clearly struggling to process their loss while also managing the media attention that inevitably follows. The use of the word incomprehensible in their statement is particularly poignant, as it reflects the difficulty that many families face when trying to understand how accidents like this can occur. It speaks to the random, senseless nature of such tragedies that leave families searching for answers and struggling to find meaning in their loss. The news of Anthony's death has sent shockwaves through the fan community that has followed Dog the Bounty Hunter and his family for years. Social media platforms have been flooded with messages of support, condolences, and shared grief from fans who feel a personal connection to the Chapman family through years of watching their reality television appearances. Many fans have shared memories of watching the show and feeling like they knew the family personally, which is a testament to the genuine, unscripted nature of their television presence. This parasocial relationship that develops between reality TV stars and their audiences means that news like this affects fans on a personal level, even though they've never met the family members involved. The entertainment industry has also begun responding to the news, with fellow reality TV personalities, bounty hunters, and other public figures expressing their condolences and support for the family during this difficult time. The tight-knit nature of the reality television community means that tragedies like this resonate throughout the industry. While the specific details of this case are still being investigated, accidental shootings involving family members are unfortunately not uncommon in the United States. According to various safety organizations and law enforcement statistics, accidental shootings claim hundreds of lives each year, with many involving children and occurring in domestic settings. These incidents often involve firearms that are improperly stored, handled, or maintained, though we want to be clear that we don't know the specific circumstances in this case. What we do know is that such accidents can happen in any family, regardless of their background, experience with firearms, or safety precautions they may have taken. The tragedy also highlights the ongoing national conversation about gun safety, particularly in homes with children. Organizations dedicated to firearms safety consistently emphasize the importance of proper storage, education, and handling procedures to prevent accidental shootings. As the investigation continues, the Chapman family faces the difficult task of planning funeral arrangements and beginning the grieving process while under public scrutiny. The loss of a 13-year-old child is devastating under any circumstances, but the accidental nature of Anthony's death and the family dynamics involved create additional layers of complexity and trauma. Gregory Zecca, as both the victim's father and the person involved in the accident, is likely experiencing an unimaginable level of guilt, grief, and trauma. The psychological impact of accidentally causing the death of one's own child is something that mental health professionals recognize as one of the most severe forms of traumatic stress a person can experience. The extended Chapman family, including Dog and Francie, are also dealing with their own grief while likely trying to provide support to Gregory and each other. The public nature of their lives means that their grieving process will be observed and commented upon, adding another layer of difficulty to an already impossible situation. From a legal standpoint, while no arrests have been made, the investigation could still result in charges depending on what authorities determine about the circumstances of the shooting. However, it's important to note that in many accidental shooting cases, particularly those involving family members, prosecutors often focus on whether criminal negligence was involved rather than pursuing more serious charges. Law enforcement officials have not provided a specific timeline for when they expect to conclude their investigation, but these types of cases typically involve several weeks or even months of thorough examination. Detectives will likely be examining physical evidence from the scene, interviewing witnesses, and working with forensic experts to reconstruct exactly what happened. The complexity of the investigation may also depend on factors that haven't been made public, such as the type of firearm involved, where it was stored, who had access to it, and what activities were taking place immediately before the shooting occurred. Each of these elements could potentially influence both the timeline of the investigation and any eventual determination about whether charges should be filed. The Collier County Sheriff's Office has indicated that they are conducting a thorough investigation, which suggests they are taking their time to examine all aspects of the case rather than rushing to conclusions. This methodical approach is typical in cases involving accidental deaths, as investigators want to ensure they have a complete understanding of the events before making any final determinations. As we wrap up our coverage of this heartbreaking story, our thoughts remain with the Chapman family during this incredibly difficult time. The loss of young Anthony Zecca represents not just a personal tragedy for his family, but a reminder of how quickly life can change and how precious our time with loved ones truly is. The investigation into this tragic accident continues, and we will keep you updated as more information becomes available from authorities. For now, the focus remains on supporting a family in grief and respecting their need for privacy as they navigate this unimaginable loss. We want to remind our viewers that if you or someone you know is struggling with trauma or grief related to this story or any personal experiences, resources are available through local mental health organizations and crisis support services. In times like these, the entertainment world pauses to remember what truly matters beyond the cameras and the spotlight. A family is mourning, a community is grieving, and we're all reminded of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment we have with those we love. Thank you for joining us for this difficult but important coverage. Until next time, hold your loved ones close.